Hello, dear friends. This piece was inspired by a recent lecture by the great disclosure Emilio Carrillo. Opinion piece. Invisible government. State sewers. Behind the scenes power. Solarstone watch. Final chess moves. Unbalanced global wealth. 150,000 migrants waiting in Mexico. Lithium batteries are the new oil. Flying car cleared for takeoff. RFK Jr. declines to be Trump's vice president. 7,000-year-old road found in Croatia. Let's start. The shadow government, also known as the deep state, is a term that refers to a group of individuals or entities that would be the real power pulling the strings in the world behind visible government. It would consist of high-ranking bureaucrats and civil servants, as well as business and financial leaders, who operate behind the scenes to shape government policy and preserve their interests and privileges. The good news is that the shadow is losing power, which is why they are so nervous. A deep state refers to a form of clandestine government operated through networks of hidden power groups, acting in collusion in order to pursue a common agenda and their own objectives independently and in parallel to the legitimate, supposedly democratically elected government, often committing acts of corruption. In Spain, the more informal and derogatory synonym of state sewers is used. There is a series on this use on Netflix called Ultra Secrets. Definition. Shadow government, also known as cryptocracy, invisible government or secret government, is based on the notion that real political power lies not with elected representatives of the population, but with people of great influence and authority within certain governmental bodies who wield power behind the scenes. For example, beyond the control of democratic institutions such as the powers that be or lobbyists. According to this belief, the executive branch would be a subordinate of the shadow government. Some of the proposed groups would be central banks, intelligence agencies, think tanks, as well as secret societies, moneyed interests, globalist elites, and supranational organizations that seek to manipulate policy in their own interest or to serve a broader agenda that is hidden from the general public. Such theories have been propagated in various books by writers such as David Icke, Dan Smoot, William Guy Carr, Jim Marrs, Carol Quigley, Gary Allen, Des Griffin, Michael Hoffman II, and John Coleman. Opinions. Milton William Cooper believes that the shadow government cooperates with certain regressive races. His book, Behold the Pale Horse, discusses the activities of a secret world government and a variety of occult activities. He believes that negative visitors manipulate and control the humankind through various secret societies, religions, magic rituals, witchcraft, and occultism. Mike Lofgren defines these powers, in quotes, as a hybrid partnership between elements of government, high legal, finance, and industry that is able to govern effectively without needing the consent of the government expressed through formal politics. Their preferred pose is that of the neutral technocrat offering expert advice underpinned by their wealth of experience. In the book Dossiers of a World Government, and Givaudan speaks of 100 families that rule the world. She also says that beyond on other planes, on other planets, there are beings above these families and it is they who are pulling the strings. The idea that a small group of international but interconnected people can control the world of finance and commerce was confirmed by a team at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. It says the interconnectedness of the core could be bad, and if one company has problems, it would spread to the rest of the entities. Global wealth. According to the Credit Suisse World Wealth Report 2021, 1% of the world's population owns 45.8% of total wealth, while 10% of the population owns 82.7% of total wealth. The report also notes that 0.1% of the population owns 17.9% of total wealth, indicating that there is a significant concentration of wealth in the hands of a small number of extremely wealthy people. They would not seek money and power because they already have it. They would seek souls. It could be argued that many people in the elite seek to maintain and increase their status and influence in society. In addition to wealth and power, the elite often seeks prestige and social recognition. This may manifest itself in the desire to be seen as leaders and visionaries in their respective fields of activity, or in their involvement in philanthropic causes of non-profit organizations. Other motivations might include influence, control of natural and economic political resources, access to information, and the ability to influence public opinion and the political agenda. There may also be a motivation to maintain and perpetuate their position within their own elite, often through alliances and power networks. Reset news. Final chess moves such as more blockades. Anticipation fatigue is real. We need to see more action and less talk. We will continue to hear ups and downs in the news. Don't ride that roller coaster. People in Canada received an emergency alert according to Richard. The emergency broadcast system could be activated at any time. According to Millofield, the order for divine intervention was given 3 weeks ago. Solar storm watch. Intermittent geomagnetic storms are likely over the next 48 hours in response to a solar mass ejection that hit the Earth on 9th May and another that will hit on 11th May. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan arrested on Tuesday. He vowed to expose his country's international corruption. Protests are erupting across the country, and clashes have broken out between security forces and Khan supporters. Arrest wars are going to hit several countries by 2024. A global revolution is taking place, and the White Hats are behind it. The world of carnal desires is an endless dance of disappointments and regrets, according to Poet Dog. Desire is an agent of divine will. What this means is that whatever you desire is on its way to you, so you better be really sure of what you desire. They move like blind drunks during the dark of the moon looking for clarity at the construction site, says Poet Dog. Economy. The rebellion against the dollar empire is spreading. Zimbabwe's new gold currency goes international. Cryptocurrency collapses as 12 wallets declare bankruptcy, with Bitcoin already down. The current banking crisis evokes strong memories of 2008. Finance shifts to chart escape routes for global economy. A summer of tensions lies ahead for the world's richest economy. According to Bloomberg, ECB officials accept that rate hikes won't end in July. The G7 wants to develop a joint approach to combat banking crisis. China and US debt problem to dominate G7 finance chiefs' talks. The trade between China and Russia increases by more than 40% between January and April 2023. Bank of England ready to raise rate again to tackle inflation. Oil prices fall due to stockpile build-up. Europe is forced to pay extra for oil as its options run out. Lithium batteries could be the new oil, according to Elon Musk. Elon Musk announces new Twitter page and promises to delete inactive accounts. The UN denounces the absence of fertilizer exports in the Food Pact. Several countries are in line to join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. USA. Debt ceiling fiasco punishes markets. Fed report highlights the risk of banks' exposure to commercial real estate. Robert Kiyosaki criticizes the Fed and warns of systemic inflation. Is there a big change coming on the US political scene? Election interference at a level never seen before, according to X22 report. Biden family received $10 million from China, according to bank details. Trump refuses to concede the election at CNN forum in New Hampshire. RFK Jr. accuses an agency of involvement in the assassination of his uncle GFK. RFK Jr. responds to speculation of becoming Trump's vice president in 2024. In quotes, under no circumstances will I run with Donald Trump in an election bid. Our position on certain fundamental issues, our approach to governance and our philosophy of leadership could not be further apart, Kennedy wrote on Twitter. Florida government urges people to prepare for hurricane season. Governor DeSantis enacts the toughest illegal immigration law in the country. Americas. 150,000 migrants wait at the Mexican border to enter the U.S. This Thursday, Title 42, which allowed for the rapid removal of migrants at the U.S. border, ends, and Title 8, which allowed migrants to be detained and processed for rapid deportation, will be now apply. The border is not open. López Obrador recommends the disappearance of the OAS because it serves no purpose in his opinion. Inflation slows in Mexico to 6.25% annual rate, its lowest level in 18 months. Brazil wants to become a world cryptographic center. Brazilian justice threatens Telegram for its message on freedom of expression. Thousands of fans bid farewell to singer Rita Lee at the planetarium in Sao Paulo. Argentina's struggle to keep its currency from collapsing is bankrupting the central bank. Argentina's president accuses the Supreme Court of being undemocratic. Peru's government announces a project to have its border guarded by the armed forces. Bolivia affirms that the low dollar liquidity in the country is transitory. Ecuador warns of thick smoke in the crater of the Cotopaxi volcano. Petroecuador denounces sabotage in the Trans-Equatorian oil pipeline system. Ecuador's president to go to parliament to defend himself in impeachment trial. Nicaraguan parliament approves creation of new government-run Red Cross. Science and technology. FBI robot dog attacks Marines, according to Michael Baxter. Elon Musk wants its own AI, end quotes, to prevent the destruction of humankind. It will be called Truth GPT and would rival OpenAI, a company he helped found. IBM says its new AI will be able to do 30 to 50% of the repetitive office work. Microsoft reveals AI skills that will be crucial to getting any job. Microsoft says AI can solve big problems with the tragedy of work, from ending burnout to wiping out companies' digital debt. Microsoft skips salary increases this year because of its focus on AI. The flying car cleared for takeoff, but you will need a pilot's license. Is aging reversible? New findings says yes. 102-year-old lady doctor, explains how to live a long, happy and purposeful life. Too many people feed themselves with unnecessary stress, but the happiest and healthiest people I know are able to let go of things or experiences that no longer serve them. Life is too short to ruminate and consider the same thought over and over again. In doing so, you are torturing yourself. A road built 7,000 years ago off the southern coast of Croatia has been found at the bottom of the Mediterranean. Italians name Barcelona's Sartoria Panettiere Pizzeria as the best in Europe. We will have to check the veracity of this news. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.